Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to Doctor. My name is Aina Sabrina binti ROSLAN from class ED25130E. So this is my case study and the topic will be the role of growth mindset in education and student development. First and foremost, we're going to look at the objective of this study. So, this study aims to explore the role of growth mindset in education and its impact on student development. Specifically, it will examine how fostering a growth mindset influences students' academic performance, motivation, and also their resilience. So, this research also will identify effective strategies educators can employ to cultivate a growth mindset in the classroom. So, the selection of this topic is driven by recent findings highlighting the significance of a growth mindset in educational settings. Research indicates that students who embrace a growth mindset where they believe that intelligence and abilities can be developed through effort and learning tend to achieve higher academic success compared to those with a fixed mindset. The use of growth mindset concept must be approached carefully. Expert advise avoiding implementing these ideas poorly, as this might have unexpected negative effect. For example, placing too much pressure on or effort without acknowledging the real progress of the students. So for this case study, I have made three objectives from this study. So the first objective will be to identify how a growth mindset influences academic performance and student motivation. The second objective will be to explore ways teachers can foster a growth mindset in the classroom. And last but not least, for the objective is to identify on the challenges that a teacher face from the situation. Next, we're going to look at literature review. For this case study, I have found two theories that can be related to the topic of my case study. So the first theory would be the Carl Dweck's theory. Carl Dweck's theory, which delineates two types of mindset. The first mindset would be the fixed mindset, the belief that intelligence and abilities are static and unchangeable. And the second mindset would be the growth mindset, where the belief that intelligence and abilities can be developed through effort and learning. So, growth minded people are more likely to take on challenges, persist after failures, and consider hard work as a means of achieving performance. So, this framework is pertinent to the current research as it explores how fostering a growth mindset in educational settings can influence students' development and academic performance. So, the second theory will be the Vygotsky social cultural theory. Vygotsky theory emphasized the role of social interaction culture and environment in cognitive development. So this theory can be seen where learning is seen as a continuous process facilitated by interaction with teachers, peers, and more knowledgeable others. So the theory introduced the concept of the zone of proximal development (ZPD), which refers to the range of tasks a learner can accomplish with guidance but not yet independently. A growth mindset encourages students to embrace challenges within their zone where they can also promoting their development of studies. So how is it connected to this topic is where educators use scaffolding to help students go beyond their ability. This happens when teachers provide the structured support and also encourage persistent effort and guided learning where they help students adopt a growth mindset by reinforcing the belief that intelligence can develop with effort and not being forced. And from the students' friends, peer learning and collaborative activities also foster a mindset where students see mistakes as part of the learning process rather than failures. By integrating Vykotski's social cultural theories with Dweck's mindset theory, this research can provide a more comprehensive understanding of how external factors and internal belief shape student development. Next, we're going to look at literature review. I have found three journal or article that can be related to this topic. So the first journal will be the Journal of Higher Education Policy and Management by Bailey and Clark that was published in 2024. So this article shows evidence where it suggests that an academics growth mindset can enhance personal performance, career success, and well-being. So this study conducts a literature review of recent research on growth mindset within academic settings. The finding shows that individuals with a growth mindset in academic are more likely to engage in continuous learning, accept any challenges that leads them to improve their academics and achievement. Next is an article by National Library of Medicine that was published in 2021. So this article addresses recent debates about the efficiency of growth mindset predicts students' outcomes and if interventions effectively instill this mindset. It also concludes that large-scale research supports the reliability of growth mindset in enhancing academic achievements. This article also utilizes a comprehensive literature review and meta-analysis to assess the impact of growth mindset intervention across diverse educational contexts. This article also stated that students with a growth mindset demonstrate higher academic performance and resilience. And last but not least is an article from American Psychological Association by Kuiper that was published in 2022. So this article explores specific teaching behaviors that enhance a growth mindset among students. It emphasizes the role of educators in shaping classroom environments that encourage effort, persistence, and learning from mistakes. The study employs classroom observation and teacher interviews to identify behaviors that promote a growth mindset. And also in the article, it stated that teachers who provide constructive feedback, encourage student autonomy, and model growth mindset themselves effectively foster such cultures in their classroom. Moving on, we're going to look at methodology. So this study employs a qualitative research approach using semi-structured interviews to explore how teachers perceive and implement a growth mindset in education. Thematic analysis is also used to identify patterns in responses, focusing on three key objectives. And the study also uses purposive sampling, where we selected educators based on their direct experience with students' learning and mindset development. Both of the two educators that I have chosen are secondary school teachers with 8 and 38 years experience of teaching. Miss Umu has experience of 8 years teaching and Mrs. Salma have a 38 years experience of teaching. And the data of this study are collected by conducting interviews via Google Meet. Each of the interview session took around 15 to 30 minutes, and with the teacher's request, it was conducted in Malay, but then it was translated into English for the analysis. And the audio recorded have been transcribed for the thematic analysis for the collection of data with the teacher's consent. For the interview questions, I have generated 4 interview questions based on each objective. For the first objective were to identify how a growth mindset influences academic performance and student motivation. So the first question for the objective is how does a growth mindset help students to stay motivated in class? The second question will be have you noticed any differences in academic performance between students with a growth mindset and those with a fixed mindset? So the third one would be how do students with growth mindset handle challenges compared to those with a fixed mindset? And the last question for the objective will be can you share an example where a student's mindset affected their learning progress? Moving on to the second objective, where to explore ways teacher can foster a growth mindset in the classroom. So the first question will be what are some simple strategies you use to encourage a growth mindset in students? The second question will be how do you give feedbacks in a way that helps students to develop it? And the third question, what classroom activities or lessons help students to build a growth mindset? And the last question for the objective would be how do you support students who struggle to believe they can improve? And for the last objective, to identify on the challenges that a teacher face from the situation, is the first question will be what challenges do you face when trying to develop a growth mindset in your students? The second question will be, how do students usually react when you encourage them to change their mindset? The third question, are there any students who resist the idea of a growth mindset? How do you handle that? And the fourth question will be, what kind of support do teachers need to successfully promote a growth mindset in students? Next, we're going to look at the findings. So from the case study where I have interviewed two different teachers, I have found two similarities between the two teachers. So the similarities can be seen from the impact of growth mindset on student learning, where both teachers agree that a growth mindset improves student motivation and their performance in academic. This is because they are more active to ask questions to their teachers when they have any struggles when they are doing their exercises or any question that have been doing in the class. And the second similarities is feedback. So both teachers believe feedback is essential in fostering a growth mindset. This is to ensure the students' mental health, that they are always being praised when they are be able to answer question even though it's wrong. It's okay, but it is important to just say that you can try another one, instead of saying that, oh, you are wrong, and which will close up their mindset, which they will become more afraid to try to answer more question in the future in the classroom. Then we're going to look at the differences in terms of effective teaching strategies. So Miss Umu prefers collaborative learning, while Mrs. Salma integrates digital tools and inquiry-based learning. Miss Umu uses group-based learning to encourage student participations because they feel more excited to learn when they are interacting with their friends, as what Ms. Umu stated in the interviews, while Mrs. Salma emphasizes technology and questioning techniques to foster deeper thinking. While when they are using technology, they will need to learn how they you going to use the technology, and they will actually try to ask more questions within the teacher. Then, differences in terms of barriers to growth mindset. Ms. Omo focuses on student emotions while Mrs. Salma highlights external influences. Ms. Omo observes that students fear failure and lack confidence. This has happened when a student tries to answer a question, and when they get the answers wrong, they will feel fear and they will feel embarrassed of themselves, which make them not to try more question and become more timid in the classroom. While Mrs. Salma points out that parents and socio-economic factors impact mindset development. This has happened when low-income family don't have much or more gadgets that the children or the students can use for them to learn more, rather than the higher income of family where they have tablets, they have more gadgets where it can, which make them have no limits for them to learn, instead of the low income family where they need to rely on one gadget or even no gadget at all for them to study, which actually limits their knowledge. So when this mindset embedded in their own thinking, they feel like they don't have any more chances for them to learn more. Moving on, we're going to look at findings. The first finding is growth mindset enhances learning outcomes. So both teachers reported that students exhibiting a growth mindset are more persistent, actively seek feedback, and demonstrate improved academic performance. From a study published in Frontiers in Psychology, it indicates that a growth mindset positively influences high school students' learning subjective well-being through increased achievement motivation and perseverance. So the second finding will be the diverse teaching strategies foster a growth mindset. The various strategies employed by the teachers, collaborative learning, and the integration of technology highlight different pathways to cultivating a growth mindset. The American Psychological Association article stated that the importance of teaching behaviors that promote a growth mindset, such as providing constructive feedbacks and fostering student autonomy. So this shows that educators need to ensure of the students' mental health to ensure that when the teaching process are going on, they will be able to uh, develop students that actually want to study instead of being forced to study. So this is where it is important for educators to have a great strategies in teaching to ensure that they can develop a high achievement in students. Then, findings on the challenges in implementing a growth mindset. Both internal and external challenges were identified as obstacles to fostering a growth mindset among students. A literature review in Frontiers in Education discusses how teachers' mindsets and growth oriented practices are related to students' mindset and learning, noting that both internal and external factors play significant roles, such as socioeconomic status and parental attitudes. Next, we're going to look at recommendation that can be done by three different parties. So the first party will be schools and educators. Schools and educators can implement growth mindset workshop to train teachers in effective strategies of learning. They can also insert collaborative learning activities to encourage peer interaction and risk-taking in learning. They can also use technology and digital tools to enhance student engagement and promote self-directed learning. So the second parties will be parents and guardian. So parents and guardian can encourage a supportive home environment where mistakes are seen as learning opportunities. They can also praise the children's effort and persistence in academic instead of just labeling them as a smart or not smart student. The third party would be the Ministry of Education. So the Ministry of Education can develop national level educational campaign that promote a culture of learning, flexibility and determination. It can also ensure equitable access to resources, technology and interventions for students from different socio-economic backgrounds. Last but not least, we're going to look at the conclusion. So, this study explored the role of a growth mindset in education and student development that focuses on its impact on learning, effective teaching, strategies, and challenges in fostering a growth mindset. While this study provided valuable insights, future research could explore on parental influence on student mindset, where it will shows how parental attitudes and home environment contribute to students' mindset development. To maximize its impact, schools, parents, and Ministry of Education must collaborate in providing an environment where students feel safe to learn, fail, and grow. By adopting inclusive and research-backed strategies, we can ensure that all students, regardless of background, develop the mindset and skills needed to thrive in education and beyond. And that is all from me. Thank you.